So today's session is going to be a comprehensive look into project management. My name is Laura Crawford. Thank you for joining us today. We have a lot to cover, so I'm really excited to get started here. We're going to jump into all things Microsoft PPM. We're going to explain how this tool can help you with project planning, with your budget and baseline variance, schedule management, escalation and change management, status and issue reporting, and then I'm going to save some time at the very end for Q&A. I do monitor the chat window, but sometimes it's a little difficult for me to catch those questions as they're coming by. So don't worry, if you do have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat window while you're thinking about it. And at the very end, we'll take some time to answer those questions. Again, just don't worry that I'm ignoring you. I will save time at the end to answer those questions for you. All right. All right, a little bit about me. I've been using this tool for over 8 years now, so I live, eat, and breathe in this tool. So I actually submit a timesheet every single week. I create projects in Microsoft Project Professional. I publish those projects to our Project Online environment. Excuse me. And excuse me, I monitor those projects as well, and I update them on a regular basis. Excuse me. I may mute from time to time, as you can hear. I have a little bit of a frog in my throat there, so just be patient with me today. All right, so I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer, and I've also been certified in all the exams. A little bit about PPM Works and why you might choose us. As I said, we do actually drink from the well, so we run our entire business in Microsoft Project Online. So we all use the tool on a daily basis. We create reports. We run our entire business on that. That gives us a little bit of an advantage because when you come to us with situations or concerns or problems, we've experienced it. We can certainly walk you through it and help you. So we do everything from customer integration, deployment, business intelligence, you name it, and training. We rock a lot of training around that so that you're ready to use the tool after we've gone in there and configured it for you. So if you have any questions, though, for answer today, please feel free to email us at info@ppmworks.com. All right, so just feel free to answer. I know a lot of times you go through these webinars and you may not have a question right at the moment, but you might jump in after today's session and you want to give it a try, something that I've shown you. You may forget how to do it. You can go ahead and just email us at info@ppmworks and be happy to answer any of those questions there. All right, so don't forget to do that. Also, if you want a copy of this recording, you can certainly contact us for that as well. All right, this is just an overview of some of our upcoming events here. So you'll see that I have to update this a little bit because we're already on 213. But on 220, we're going to have keys to effective resource management. We're going to take a really deep dive into resource management. So check back with us on that one. And then on 227, we're going to be talking about data-driven decisions with project team collaboration and reporting. It's another exciting webinar out there. So keep checking, register for these webinars at ppmworks.com/events. And also just keep checking for updated webinar schedule. Happy to have you join us. All right, our session goals, here we go. Approving knowledge of the Microsoft PPM tools. PPM is your project and portfolio management. So the tools that Microsoft provides for you, let's improve your knowledge. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks, some ways that you can take advantage of that tool. This is good for both new and even mature organizations. There's probably going to be one or two things that I show you today that you haven't thought of using that you might want to incorporate with your own organization. If you have any questions or you need any assistance with that, happy to help you. We do provide support services as well, but we'd be happy to hear from you and answer some general questions. All right, then we're going to equip you to get started today. We're going to make the most of your time. We realize this is typically during most folks' lunch hour, so let's go ahead and make the most of your time there. Excuse me. All right, so we're going to start talking about project planning first. All right, because that's one of the bigger pieces of your project management when you're first getting started. All right, so project planning could be submitting an initial charter. You might not even have a project schedule just yet. You just have a project idea that's out there. Thinking about out ways in which your organization maybe captures all of those ideas, demand management. So how do you record those? Where do you monitor those? Or is your organization pretty much approve every project idea that comes through? It could be the case, but you may or may not have that situation. So let me jump out of here for a moment. Excuse me. And let me jump into this rule for a second so we can get started in here. All right, let's see if I can find my correct. There we go, ideas. All right, so what we're looking at here, let me back up for one step here, is an ideation list. So if you are using Microsoft Project to track project ideas, you can certainly create a new project here in Project Center so that information is ready and visible. You can certainly do that right from here, but you may have a system where you have some ideas out there, maybe ideas that are competing with one another, and you're not going to do all 5 of these project ideas, but one might make the cut. This is an example of an ideation list. So in that initial planning stages of your project management, your project life cycle, all right, you're just getting this idea out there. This is one way that you can get started. What we have here is a list, and if I select the list tab up here, you'll see here that I can create different views. These are custom columns that we've created here. These columns can certainly match your project charter, all right? So if you do have an existing project charter out there that you're using to capture ideas, maybe you have users submitting those to a document library, and once a month or every other week, you have a portfolio management team that gets together and goes through a project selection process. This is something that you can also use to vet project ideas. So you can capture all that information again in one list. The benefit of that is that all the ideas remain here. So you can see what's been completed or promoted to a project, I should say, not completed, but could be promoted to a project, and those that are still out there that are waiting for approval. All right. Again, these custom fields right here have been created by us. They can be created by you to match that information that you're currently gathering when this first idea is initiated or put out there. The great thing about this is that when I'm ready, I can select items. I would select, let's say, this project here, and you would see, or this list item here, I should say, it's not quite a project yet. I could go ahead and select Create Project, and what this will do is it'll take this project idea that I have here in my SharePoint list, because that's what this is a SharePoint list, and I can create the project in Project Online right from here. All right, so when I'm in those initial planning stages, I can continue to vet my idea here in this ideation list, get some feedback from my PMO on what needs to be changed or whether it's ready to go. And then once it's ready, maybe the PMO comes in here and then goes ahead and creates the project for me. The great thing about this, though, is that these fields can be mapped to fields in Project Online. So do not have to fill these out again. This information gets moved from here into Project Center, or I should say copied from here and moved into Project Center, because these still remain here on the list. So you still have this for a historical purposes or reasons, or if there is maybe you come to a point where the idea was promoted to a project and then you decide that you're just not going to do it, you could actually delete the project and still have the information here for historical purposes. All right, so again, this is an ideation list. This is a way for you to capture that demand for your project when you're in those earlier stages of planning. All right, one of the other things that I showed you just a moment ago on, excuse me, in that PowerPoint was also that you can also include project schedule templates and resource engagement. So let's talk about these as well. All right, let me go back to where I was. Excuse me. All right, so I do have a project open, so let me grab that and get that open on my screen here. All right, so I have a project. This is Project Professionals 2016 that I have open here on my screen. And there's a few things that I can do from here. For one thing, when you're in the initial planning stages of projects, if I select New here, I can select an enterprise template. right? These are just examples that we have here in our demo environment. But these can be, so if you have a template out there that contains your project lifecycle and all the phases and stages, and you already have all that work done, you might even have generics in there as placeholders for the resources that are required for a particular project type. You can save those templates to the enterprise so that every time someone creates a brand new project, either from here in Project Professional, they can start from this template. They also have the option of using these templates here in Project Online as well. So if I go to Project Center, where I see a list of all those projects, and I select New from here, each of these are project types, and each of these project types can be associated with a different project schedule template. It also can be associated with a different project site template as well. And it also can have different, what's called project detail pages. It can contain different fields of information. So depending on the project type, you may be looking to capture specific fields, whereas other projects, that information is not relevant to that particular type of project. So this is another way that you can utilize templates. You can use them directly from here in Project Online. And again, also if I'm using Project Professional, I can see my templates back here as well. All right, so templates provides that structure, and it also helps you with your governance and your business rules, gives that consistency across all projects. So all projects are following the same life cycle. They have the appropriate stages and phases. And also the work is done. You don't have to come in and re-estimate your duration and your work effort or the skill set that's required. So it's very convenient for when you're initially planning your project. Another thing that I do want to show you is a resource plan view. And the resource plan view, for those of you that are joining that may be familiar with resource plans from earlier versions of Project Server, it is, they've been changed in 2016. If you have Project Server 2016 on-premise, or if you have Project Online, you now are going to be using what's called resource engagements. Those are created from a resource plan view here. The reason why I'm showing you this, I'm not going to step through the all the ways of creating these and submitting and that entire process. We've actually had a few webinars on that subject alone. But what I want to point out is that when you're in those early planning stages of a project, you don't necessarily know what all the tasks are in the project plan or who's going to be doing the work, and you might not know the estimate for the work that's involved. All right, engagements gives you the ability to forecast at the project level the skill set that you need or the named people that you need, the duration that you're going to be using them. So this, for the analyst, I proposed from January 5th of 2015 through June. And I've indicated that I would need this analyst at 75% of their time, not 100% of their time. You can see if I scroll down a little bit, I also have Scott in here as requested for 50% of his time over this given time period. So this engagement request isn't concerned with what Scott is working on or the named, the assignments or the task detail in the project. It is just giving you the ability to say or reserve, let's say reserve resources at a high level across the project. So I need this person for the next 6 months, and I plan on utilizing them for 25% of their time. This engagement actually gets submitted to a resource manager for approval, and then the resource manager can accept or reject it. This is very helpful in the planning stages, again, because you may not have a project schedule in place just yet, and but you still, when you're initially filling out your project charter, or you're filling out that ideation list, and an item on that list as well, you may need to estimate your resource requirements very early on. So in order to do that, you're going to have some idea of who you need, the duration that you're going to need them for, and how you're utilizing them. All right. So again, this is part of that initial planning process. So we started with the project idea list or the ideation list in a SharePoint list, and how you can vet those project ideas in the early planning stages and then promote that to a project. We also talked a little bit about excuse me, templates and how you could utilize templates for consistency and to drive your governances. And then also how you can plan very high level your resource requirement very early on before you necessarily even have a project schedule that's out there. All right, let me jump back to my PowerPoint real quick here. All right, the next thing we wanted to talk about was budget and baseline variance. All right, so I have two examples here that I can show you, both in project and also in Project Center. If you are going to track any budget, schedule, or cost variance that's part of budget, you're going to need to baseline your project. All right, any kind of variance that you want to track in your project, you do need to establish a baseline. Right, that's very important in order to be able to track this. All right, baselining, as you know, if you're using Project Professional, is very, it's there out of the box, ready and waiting for you. Can be a bit scary for some people, because once you set that baseline, you can see what you plan, how what you plan to happen is tracking against what's really truly actually happening in your project. And of course, as we all know, things can be increased very quickly. So you need to monitor those project plans on a regular basis, right? You should be updating your projects on a weekly basis to stay ahead of that. All right, so let's look at some examples of this again. Let's go first to Project Center. All right, so I have a Project Center view. This happens to be a status view that we've created here in our demo environment. So what you're looking at is your overall schedule, cost, resource, and risk. All right, so these are indicators that we've created that are going to track against variance in the project. So if my project is late, we're going to see some red indicators here. Green means we're on track, we're ahead of schedule. Yellow, if we saw that, would mean we are slipping. All right. Anytime you see these white ones, we usually put those in there. You might be wondering what those mean. That indicates that the project hasn't been baselined from the schedule aspect, so we need to make sure that we schedule that, baseline that project. Some of these may be manual indicators, and some of them may be formula driven. So you can have both in there. If you are baselining your projects, then you can take advantage of the formula driven indicators, which of course, every time you're updating your project and publishing those, these indicators get refreshed based upon how your project is doing. All right, so you might want to measure the overall health of your project, your schedule, your cost, resource, or risk. These are just examples of what you can do. Here, this is a project center view, so this is a summary level of projects. So these are individual projects here in this project center view, and this is the overall schedule, cost, resource, risk, health of those projects here. Let me go back into projects, and let's go to a GAMP view here. And I went ahead and added a schedule indicator to this particular view here. So you can see that we have indicators here at the task level. So if my task is slipping or behind, we're going to see a lot of red in here. There is a lot of red in here, so I may want to take a look at this project to try and get it back on track. All right, but as you know, this is going to be a big part of managing your project. You do want to have at least a baseline in here. And of course, this is just a Gantt chart view. I could change my tables up here to look at more of a variance view or a tracking view here. But my variance views would always give me my baseline start, my baseline finish, my actual start, and my actual start, and my plan finish here. All right, so I can use these to see how my project is progressing. This is my demo environment. So we have projects that have been in here for a while that we sometimes move to make them a little bit more recent. So hopefully your project is not slipping quite as far as mine is here in the demo environment. I would certainly hope not. is, you may need to go ahead and shoot us an email, info@ppmworks.com, right, to get back on track and get some help. All right, so this is just a variance table that I came in here and switched to here. I can go back to my entry table to see the default table that I started with. All right, so go ahead and get in here and start baselining your project. If you're not familiar with where to do that, that is done on the project tab here in Project Professional. I would come in here and I would set my baseline. And as you can see, I have a lot of baselines to choose from. I actually have 11, starting from 0 all the way up to 10. You don't want to override your existing baseline, so typically you might want to create baseline 0 and then immediately set baseline 1, so you have that original snapshot. The reason why I'm saying that is if you make any changes to your project plan, the baseline start and finish is always looking at that baseline 0. All right, so it's always going to look at that initial baseline that you first set here in Project Professional. I also can baseline projects here in the web. If I wanted to open this full lab project up in the web, I can certainly do that right here in the browser. Go ahead and click on that again, get this to open, and then if I go to a schedule project detail page, that's what these are, project detail pages. We can go to our schedule page and we can, based on our project, if we put it in edit mode. All right, so it needs to be in edit mode for me to be able to do that. I'm going to leave this as is because it's checked out. I'm not going to force it in. I know Jenny on my team has been working on some reporting in here. So I don't want to mess her up. You see how I can set my baseline here? I can just click on this drop down and I will be able to set my baseline right here in the web as well. All right, so again, a big part of managing projects or project management is the planning and then also monitoring, right? You want to be able to track your variance within your project. All right, so go ahead and set those baselines. You can use a very simple variance formula to track just against your finished variance for your schedule. All right, you can also, of course, track against cost variance as well, and you can also create an overall health field if you needed to. All right, so I do encourage you to get in there and track that variance. All right, so let's look at that schedule management. All right, so now that you're in here and you're tracking your variance and you set your baselines, you're going to be able to analyze your critical path. You can also identify over-allocated resources, track your progress against baselines because we baseline your project, and reschedule uncompleted work. So let's jump into Project Pro because some of these you cannot do in the web. You're not going to be able to reschedule uncompleted work. All right, and it's not very easy to identify over-allocated resources from the web-based view. But in Project Professional here, I can certainly identify my over-allocated resources by anybody that is red. Okay, so I can right-click to see what options I have to try and help this guy out. All right, so I can come in here and take a look and see. I would probably want to inspect these using the task inspector. So I can certainly do that. If you're not familiar with that, I can show you real quick. But I can inspect over here. All right, so I can see that assigned a non-working time. All right, so these guys are scheduled to work over the weekend, it looks like too. I can come in here and review, and they'll give me some options about how I can resolve any over allocations in here as well. So this is the task inspector. I just came to the taskbar and then clicked on inspect here. All right, so I can easily identify that. I also can, let me just close this for a moment. I also may want to take a look at different views. All right, the network diagram view is a view that's helpful in taking a look at my my critical path. So any task that would be on the critical path would be in red. All right, so these right now are not displaying in red. So I don't see any tasks just here on my critical path. I can also, let's see if I come over here, if I want to try and I'm going to be able to check this one out. All right, so I can take a look at my network diagram to see if there's any tasks that are jumping out on the critical path. And then if they are slipping or my tasks that are on the critical path in red. So it looks like I just have one guy out there. So that guy right there would be on my critical path. All right. So I can identify the tasks that are on the critical path and then take any action that I might need. So if there's a resource that's assigned to a task that's on the critical path and they are in red, they're over-allocated, I might need to make some quick adjustments. Maybe add another resource to that particular task, or even replace the resource if I'm able to do that, and make sure that those tasks are not open. All right, so you're going to want to come in here and take a look at different views to analyze your resources from within here. All right, to make sure that you don't have tasks that are over-allocated. One other thing that you should be doing as well, we've already said that we're baseline, right? We've gone in here, we've set our baseline. But another thing that you're going to want to do, and you can see that this has happened in this particular project, and that is to reschedule uncompleted work. All right. So if you have tasks that were scheduled to occur months ago, weeks ago, you probably are already aware of this. The project doesn't automatically reschedule them. You may have there may be a successor task that was completed prior to that, dependent task being completed. Completing that successor task doesn't pull out the other task to a future date, right? Those tasks will remain in the past. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to reschedule the work, all right? So you're going to select a date. It'll default to today's date. So if there's work that you want to reschedule to start next Monday, maybe you have selected tasks that you need to reschedule. You have resources that are unavailable, like got pulled on to another project, or you have something going on, a scheduled shutdown, whatever that may be. You can reschedule that work. But this is something you should be doing on a weekly basis because, again, if the work is in the past, it remains there. And if your resources are assigned to that work, if you still haven't completed it, plus whatever's on their plate for this week, you really aren't getting the big picture on their allocation, right? So you want to make sure that you're fully aware of everything that's scheduled to occur this week. So if all project managers are rescheduling their work on a weekly basis, your organization is going to have a clear indication of how your resources are allocated. All right, so that's rescheduling that work. All right, so again, make sure we baseline our projects. Be familiar with what views you can use to track your critical path. Oh, one other one that I did not show you, we're in a tracking Gantt view, but let me go back to just a regular, I'll do a regular Gantt chart view at the timeline. You can also, from a regular Gantt chart view, highlight your critical task here. That would change the bars, which are not normally red if they're on the critical path, to red, so you'd be able to see just by selecting this box here. And also, if you're not familiar with this, you can highlight the critical here. All right. So what that does is it will highlight the text of those critical tasks in my project so I can clearly see them. And I also could filter for just critical. The only thing is, be careful if you're filtering. This is a built-in filter. I don't need to create it. If you are filtering, remember that the view is filtered and that it's not displaying all the tasks in your project. Very obvious for this particular project, but you have a project plan with 300 tasks in it, and maybe 50 or maybe 50 are not on the critical path, and you filter for that. You may forget that those tasks are in there, that they are filtered. All right. Now let me just go ahead and change that to no filter. I get my entire project plan back here. All right. Okay, so those are some of the things that you're going to want to do from a tracking perspective and managing your schedule. All right. Okay, we talked about all of these here. Let's talk about another thing that you, as project managers, especially if you're PMPs, you're probably very used to dealing with escalation and change management. You may have a change control form that you have to complete, or a change control process. Let me just show you some examples of what we've done in our environment for this. Escalation and change management can be managed actually from project site. Let me show you what that looks like. Let me go back here, and I'm going to select the project navigation so that I can go to the project site for the Gold Lab project. Excuse me. And you can see here that I have some custom lists here. All right, so I have change control, deliverables. Actually, deliverables, risks, and issues are all out of the box. All right, so those are there for you out of the box. But what I did add here is the change control and the decision log. I'll start with the decision log. All right, so this is, again, we're in a project site. Project sites are associated with each project. It's a workspace. It's a subsite of your home page or your project online page. So these are subsites that are directly linked to a specific project. You can have these set so that they auto-create every time someone creates a new project and publishes it, or you can have the user choose when to create sites, or if you're not using these yet, you're not quite here, you can actually elect to not create project sites at all. All right, so those are the three options that you have available that administrators would set that up for you. So as project managers, that's not something that you would be able to go in and adjust. Right, that's across different project types as well. All right, so the reason I wanted to show you this is a SharePoint list here. All right, so if I wanted to, I can come in here and I can edit or add items here. I also could just select this new item, and this is just a way for me to track key decisions in my project. So if there is some change control going on and I need to monitor it, I want to maybe keep track of what's going on. Right, so this is just an example of what you could do here in a project site. All right, so that you can capture key decisions. You know, who is the decision maker or approver? I could even enter who created it if I didn't do that already. That would be another field to add in here if I wanted to. So who submitted this to the list? Who's the decision maker or approver? And what's the status there? All right, so a way for you to capture changes in your project here on the project site. The other list that I'll show you here is the change control. All right, and we've done these for other customers, and they have been putting these to good use. So again, it's just, again, if there is some scope change in my project, I can certainly fill out this. You may have a change control template that already exists. I could actually add that to the document library as a new template ready to go, preloaded to the site if I wanted to, or I could come in here and I could monitor it this way. If I wanted to create a list workflow, I can do that as well. We are in a SharePoint list, so Microsoft, you have the ability to create a simple list workflow so that anytime someone submits an item or adds an item or edits this list, it kicks off a workflow. So if I was to come in here and create a new change request and save it, someone, whoever the approver is, would receive an alert and an email letting them know that there is a change control item out there that's awaiting your approval. They could go in, they would review it, and either approve or reject. All right, so they have the ability to come in here and create. You have the ability to not only create a list here in SharePoint, but to associate a workflow with that using SharePoint Designer. Very simple, very straightforward list workflow that you can associate with a list here. So those are just some ideas of how you can monitor your change requests, or if there's any escalation. All right, so if you wanted to create that decision list to monitor the escalation, so if there's something that needs to be escalated up the chain of command, you can create those lists there. All right, so this is SharePoint, so you can create as many lists as you think are necessary to help with the communication and collaboration with your team. It's great, great advantage to using these SharePoint lists here on the project site. It really does help and improve your communication with your team. All right, so let's go here and check what my next item is here. All right, status and issue reporting. So let me go back to where I was a moment ago. All right, so status and issue reporting. We talked about issues and risks here, or a little bit, and issues and risks. If you're a PMP, you probably already know this, but a risk is something that's the potential to have, there's the potential for this to develop into an issue. So it hasn't occurred just yet, but you've identified it as a possibility of something that could either delay your project, put it on hold, cancel it. So you come in here to this risk register, and you can come in here and you would enter the owner assigned to the title, the probability and the impact. Again, there's one thing that we haven't changed in here, category. These are the default categories for Microsoft. So you would come in here and you can identify whether it's a resource related, whether it's hardware, software, whatever category makes sense for your organization. You would come in here and change those. All right, and the description, there's your mitigation plan or your contingency plan. All right, so what are we going to do to mitigate this risk to prevent it from becoming an issue? All right, so this can be tracked here. The good thing about tracking this here is that this is then contained in, this information is stored in the reporting table. So your issues and your risks are tables that you can pull into reports. So if you're tracking them in an Excel spreadsheet outside of the tool, and you're thinking, this works just fine for us, well, something to consider would be if you're looking at creating a status report for your project or portfolio level reporting, which would display active issues and risks, you're going to want to track them here because then they're available in the reporting table. So why not go ahead, get them going here on your project site, and that this way you can then pull them into reports when you need to. All right, so that's one of the benefits to that. All right, so another thing that I want to point out for those of you that are familiar with SharePoint lists and editing and comfortable with doing all that, I do want to say, all right, and I always jokingly say this, raise your right hand, and seriously, raise your right hand, and then repeat after me. I promise, right, go ahead and say I promise, to never, ever delete any of the fields on this list. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the issue and the risk list have these default fields here. And if you come in and say, we are never going to use trigger description and trigger, so let's just delete those. We don't need them. You will actually break the site. All right, you'll have to recreate all your project sites, delete all the other ones that you have. And if you have a lot of documents stored there, issues and risks already on those sites, you can imagine what a nightmare that would be. And I speak from experience. many years ago, I was tasked with that, and I tested it. I tested it in my test environment over and over again, and it seemed to work for a week. And after a week, I pulled the trigger, and as soon as I did that, it broke everything. So, issues and risks. Do not delete any of those default fields there. All right. And if you do, again, you're going to need to email us at info@ppmworks.com because it's not an easy fix. All right. So this is another example of an issue list here. You can see those. Again, you would just come in here and add a new item. The benefit to tracking your issues and your risks here is that you then can report against those. All right. So that's just an example of what this form looks like. Sometimes I get asked, can we add custom fields to this? You can. However, they're only visible here in the issue or risk register. Those custom fields that you add are not available in the reporting table, so they would not be pulled into reports. But if it's beneficial to the user that's coming in here and updating it, by all means, we can certainly create it there, as long as it does not need to be pulled into a report. Okay, so speaking of reports, I did open up an Excel report to show you how you can pull the issues here into an Excel report, right? So this is just an Excel report. This is actually just open in a web browser. I can edit this either in Excel or in the browser. So I'll leave it right as is. But if I do come in here and All right, so I can see which projects have the most issues by count. I can see who the owners are, who they're assigned to, when they're due, all right, and also whether they're active or whether they've been closed out. All right, so that's one of the benefits, again, of being able to do that. Now, if you also, this is Power BI. This is one of our workspaces here in Power BI. I wanted to show you this. All right, so if you do have Power BI, and if you don't, why not? If you're using Project Online or even Project Server, you can go ahead and download the desktop version. Is free. Okay, so if it's free, it's for me, right? So go ahead, just go to Microsoft.com. I think it's /Power BI. Just Google or Bing it, Power BI desktop, and it'll bring you to the download link. And then you can download it for free. It's great. Gives you the ability to create ad hoc reporting. If you're real comfortable with reports, this will be freaking easy for you. Otherwise, it does take a little bit of training to help you out or get you started or help you with some of the formatting. But sky's the limit here. But I wanted to just show you an example of a report that one of my teammates created here, a project health report. You can see that it's by department, project name, start, finish. The statusing that we were talking about earlier, we can capture here the project savings and actual savings, the goal and the actual savings here. But we also could have had issues or risks if we wanted to show a count for that as well. Because again, if we're tracking that on project site, we certainly can bring that into our report here. All right. So you can see how I can take a look by department. I can look at the marketing department here to focus just on marketing. I can also show the data behind the scenes, so the count of the projects that are in that particular department. That's my report here. I select marketing again. It'll bring me back to everything. Project work and remaining work. So what have we actually done and what's left, right? We can take a look at budgeted costs versus our current cost. See where we are. This is going to be our budgeted cost line. And we can see, oh no, what's going on here? So we can see that our marketing is over, all right? The marketing department is over in budgeted costs in their project, all right? So we can drill down into these as well to see which projects are affecting that. So we can see it's probably the Rhode Island and the Zulaflex here. So we would take a look at those to see if any of those are impacting the project. And also we have this project over is right now $2.1 million. Oh, yeah. So that might be a problem. All right. So lots of these are just examples of different reports that you can use in Power BI. You can create dashboards as well that have a visualization of a bunch of different portfolio level, like all the active issues and risks for projects, cost, pie charts, etc. You can create dashboards as well. So once you've baselined your project, you've gone ahead and updated those on a regular basis and monitored those and updated your schedule or managed your schedule, then the fun part begins where you can actually pull all that information into different reports. All right, so you can see how this all kind of starts to tie together here. All right. Okay, so we are coming up on, I think we only have about 10 minutes left or so. So let me just, okay. So our Q&A time. I did want to just, before I stop sharing and open this up for questions, I wanted to also let you know that